blind and has started this Unblinded team, which is all about influencing with integrity. And he works nonstop, so he's often working in his car. Are you back, Sean? Now we've lost him. What about you, Adam? Are you there now?
Yes, I'm just, I am here. And Elle, why don't you tell everybody why you're doing this? Let's start there.
Well, I am co-hosting these with Sean, and then I'm going to have my own podcast, and in the same type of format about, influencing with integrity. And they'll probably start in September, kicking that off. So I'm very excited about that. Are you
Awesome.
back?
Sean's back. Sean, I just asked Elle why she's doing this, and she's super excited to be, doing her own at some point. But yeah, welcome back, Sean.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm taking my son to college today, Tyler. He's going back for his third year at University of Maryland. So thank you for your patience with the camera. I thought it would be functioning better. My apologies. So yes, thank you, Elle, for that wonderful introduction. And my life's work is about how people can unlock their superpower and what to do with it. And I am inspired by Elle and the work that she's done in the world. And clearly she has influence as a superpower, which what is remarkable to me is Elle would say she didn't think so coming in, but had process mastery and self-mastery clearly at epically high levels as she took a company, acquired companies that had so much success, including taking this company from 4 million to, over 21 or $22 million. So yeah, that's what we're here to do. But we're also here to make sure awesome people get to meet awesome people and make things happen. So Elle, let's get to these fine folks.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start with, now I'm going to just go in the order that you guys are on my screen so that I remember to get everyone. So Ray is first, the lovely Ray Ratzliff from Vancouver, or British Columbia. Not exactly Vancouver. Go ahead. You're muted, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Thanks for letting me know I was muted, Elle. I had no idea.
So just tell us a little bit about yourself and a fun fact.
So I'm Ray Ratlaff, and I live in Surrey, British Columbia, which is just east of Vancouver. And I have a 19-year-old daughter, and I have two very, very different companies from one another, which is interesting in itself. But my interesting fun fact I've decided to share with you is that I own a 2005 Lamborghini Murcielago and know how to drive it.
Ray, that's some crazy stuff, Elle. Ray, what's happening there? And Ray, just a quick fun fact is perhaps we're coming in March for the Tony Robbins financial trip to Whistler. So we're going to be heading through Vancouver. So yeah, you want to drive me up from Vancouver to Whistler in the Lamborghini, that would be fun. And of course, I'm just kidding, but not. So Ray, that is awesome. And I hope to ski with you in the month of March of 2021.
Awesome. It's a date, but not in the snow with the Lamborghini.
Okay. So Elle, who's next?
Next we have Taylor Schmidt, who works with Blake. You remember Blake? He's going to yell today. He's very excited about that.
Taylor's going to yell today.
Oh, okay, for you.
Taylor doesn't really know what to expect in this deal. So
introduce yourself, Taylor. Give us a fun fact. Tell us what you do.
Perfect. My name is Taylor Schmidt. I just moved down to Destin, Florida to work with Blake. I'm originally from the mountains of North Carolina, a small little town called Highlands. So it's a little bit different life than I'm used to. I moved down here to do insurance and learn more and more about sales. I've been in sales all of my life. And my fun fact is that I love to play golf.
Nice.
Awesome, Taylor. Thank you so much for being here. Very cool. Elle?
Very glad to be here.
And next we have the lovely sisters, Kay and Shai.
Hello, everyone. It's
They
such a
can't be
delight-
sisters.
Well, we are sisters, and we everyone asks us if we're twins, and we like to say we're not twins, but we are twins in spirit, and we are biological sisters, and we're best friends. And we're also business partners, which is what we do. Our big girl job is we own and manage a restaurant chain called The Squeeze Inn. It's a breakfast and lunch restaurant. We have 11 locations across 4 states here on the West Coast. 5 of them are owned by our family. And then we also own the franchise company, which has 6 locations under it. So that's how we got our 11 total. But we weren't always a restaurant family. In fact, when I was born, our parents were on food stamps and welfare and really bootstrapped their way up through our youth, and then bet it all when Kay was 10 and I was 17 to purchase a failing restaurant in Truckee, California. And I want to say the rest is history, but the rest is a roller coaster of entrepreneurial dramatic journey that I'm sure each and every one of you can relate to.
Yes, a fun fact about Shyla and I that might not fit inside the restaurant story is that we do hold the seat as faculty members on the John Maxwell team. We have the privilege of teaching the Maxwell method of marketing to over 30,000 coaches, speakers, and trainers in the John Maxwell team, and have helped the Maxwell organization over the last 5 years do over 100 million in sales through our marketing systems and the build outs that we've done for them. So a little fun fact, a little get to know you, and we're Kay and Shai.
Awesome, Kay and Shai. That is, hi, it's Sean Callaghy, and always impressive to hear. And thank you. I didn't know the access of your upbringing and the food stamps part and the financial challenges. So thank you for sharing that. Remarkable.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Elle?
And next, we have Shane, who is a new realtor in the Orlando area. And a fun fact about Shane, when we first moved to Orlando to make this acquisition, we lived at the Marriott Hotel for 4 months, which for a 10-year-old boy is not that much fun. And Shane worked for a company that serviced the hotel, and we got to become friends. And he would come and take my son, and he has 2 boys, to go and do things, take him to the pool, take him to other places. So we actually had friends and had fun. So I'm forever grateful to you, Shane.
I appreciate that, Elle. No, it's definitely been a big win for us too, to have you, John, and Aiden are really good friends to our family. But yeah, I've been in hospitality the last 10 years, hospitality management. Had a previous experience with real estate, but just decided doing 2 careers at once was taking a toll on the family. So I focused on what I was strongest at. And now that COVID has kind of given us a market shift and we have no idea when hospitality is coming back, you have to make decisions. So I'm jumping into real estate full time and kind of excited on a new endeavor.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I'm excited for
All
you.
right.
And
Yeah.
then, next we have Vince Donato. He is my business banker with SunTrust, now Truist. And Vince, he was the one when I actually had COVID. From my bed, I'm calling him saying, Dad, saying, Vince, what is this for the PPP loan? And he answered calls late at night on the weekend, and he got me through it. So I appreciate that, Vince.
Yeah, very interesting
Yeah.
times. Thanks for having me on. I am a commercial banker, as Elle mentioned. I'm just east of her. I'm on the coast, think of Florida, but on the East Coast where everything gets launched into space. That's pretty much where I'm located. And Elle's been a great partner. PPP was a fun experience, let's put it that way. Our company built a website in 72 hours and launched it in an attempt to try to gel with the website of the SBA. So that was interesting. But we were very proud of that outcome because as the 7th or 8th largest bank in the country, we provided the second most amount of actual PPP dollars in that first wave. And so we prepared as well as we could, and it seemed like we worked out. And I was thankful to and very happy to help Elle when she was battling that. Fun fact, I guess, we just finished the Indianapolis 500 yesterday on TV, which might not mean a whole lot to a lot of people, but I've got 3 kids. My youngest is my son. He's 8. And as an 8-year-old now, he's been to 17 IndyCar races. Obviously, none of those this year because of the COVID and no fans. But that fun fact is that I've been to a few more because I've been traveling and able to catch a couple. And he's so well connected to these guys, these drivers in the paddock, that often if I travel into that paddock alone, they're asking me where Bryce is, where my son is, because he loves talking racing with these guys. And it's pretty interesting to see the dynamics. But that fun fact is I don't dare go to any of these races without him because these drivers, they really hound me about where he's at. So pretty nice thing to enjoy with your little guy.
Congratulations on that, Vince. Awesome.
And next we have Blake. We all remember Blake from earlier.
Crash and burn last time.
No, Blake, you did great. You did great, brother.
Thanks,
And
Sean.
your openness to learning and growth is amazing. So welcome back.
Thank you. Blake Mckeecher, Executive Vice President of Century Insurance at Destin. We specialize in building commercial insurance programs for a multitude of businesses, Elle being one of them, and managing those in-house. Taylor, as he mentioned earlier, come on board with us recently to help us out, and hopefully he can generate some revenue for the team, but he's still training, so that's why I wanted him to participate today. And a fun fact is we were just re-awarded the insurance for Super Bowl next year. We wrote it this past year, and then we got it again for next year. So in Tampa, so pretty exciting stuff. So we're
amazing.
Very excited.
Congratulations.
On a personal note, a week from today, I am sober 7.5 years. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Woo!
I just did the math.
Awesome.
Pretty wild. So, so yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Here's a, I don't know if this is a fun fact, but Sean doesn't drink and I don't drink either. So I don't really remember when I stopped drinking, but I'm certainly never going back. So
sadly, I do remember the last night I drank. So well, yeah. So, but
I too at the beginning of 2019, so almost 2 years.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Year and a half for me.
Yeah, Ray.
Wow.
Great job, Ray. That's awesome.
Wow.
And
congratulations, everybody. That's amazing.
Next week.
So Elle, is that it? So yeah, I'm sorry. Please, Elle, go ahead.
No, you can. What were you going to say, Sean?
Oh no, I was going to ask you, and what other fine folks do we have? And you were jumping on it, so thank you.
Okay. We have Sandra Moore. She's also in British Columbia, and she works with Ray. And this is actually the first time we've really met. So glad to have you here, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you. Very excited to be here. Like you had mentioned, Ray is my fearless leader, and my background is primarily in project management and business development. For 22 years, it was in the public sector. So this last year has been my foray into the private sector, which has been quite a change for me. And Ray's been guiding me along very nicely in that. And I have 3 children, 27, 25, and 18. And my fun fact is what I had mentioned earlier about living in Brazil.
Oh, you can say it again because Sean didn't get to hear that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So my fun fact was that when I was growing up, I lived in Brazil in a house that was on the edge of town, and my background or my backyard was the Amazon rainforest, and our house was on stilts because the previous owners had owned a jaguar, and so there was a jaguar cage in there that my mom would always, because there's three of us. There's 3 girls, and my mom would always threaten to, like lock us in the cage if we didn't.
That was an episode of Ozark, and
Yes.
that they had that. So that's amazing.
Don't kill
and
it. Don't kill the ending, Sean. I'm still in the middle of it.
I will not. I will not. Yes, I will not. So I'm only early on. I watch no TV, and the only show that I've watched in like the last year is Ozark, but I'm like 6 episodes in. That's it. So I'm in the Ozark infancy. But I'm gonna give it a
Watch
whirl.
Yellowstone. Watch Yellowstone too.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's it's Sandra or Sandra?
It's Sandra. Yeah.
Sandra, awesome. I mean, extraordinary. And quick micro fun fact is my daughter is going to University of New Hampshire as a freshman. I'm taking her up on Thursday. So, and she wants to study big cats. So the reason she's going there is they have a great wildlife studies program. And so, yes, maybe she will end up in Brazil trying to save the jaguars. So thank you for that fun fact.
Thanks.
And then, did you want to go, Adam?
Yeah, sure, of course. I'll just jump in quick. I'm here trying to figure out my fun fact because Sean, every time, he hears me so many times, I can't keep giving the same one. So the biggest challenge is to constantly come up with new fun facts. But I think I have one. Real quick on me, I've been in sales my entire life, and I was hired at a company that was a startup, annualizing approximately $3 million a year, and had only 30 employees. I was hired to build an inside sales team. And in a 3.5-year span, I took the organization from that 3 million from 30 employees to 500 employees under my purview. And Inc. magazine, 3 years in a row, is one of the fastest growing privately held companies in the country. And we were annualizing about $750 million August last year. And I felt misaligned with the partners. I decided to go to a business mastery event, Tony Robbins, paid for it out of my own pocket, sat in the audience, and it was the best $10,000 I ever spent, not because of Tony Robbins, who I absolutely love, admire, but because of the man that was on stage telling his story and selling platinum partnerships purely in service of Tony Robbins, which is Sean Callaghy. And I happened to be sitting next to somebody he purchased a ticket for in pure contribution, who then introduced me to Sean. And after meeting with Sean and understanding his life story and his passion and his pursuit to his mission around a formula that really creates a simple way by finding micro distinctions to free exponential abundance in your money, time, and magic, I decided to walk away from the organization I was at. I left millions of dollars on the table to join Sean as a partner here at Unblinded. And it comes full circle. Sean was on stage again, virtual stage for Business Mastery a few days ago. An unbelievable moment for me as he briefly, told my story. So to go from last year sitting in the audience, just admiring and really, in awe of Sean, fast forward a year to be his partner, just proves anything can happen if you put your mind to it. So thank you for that moment. And Sean, also my fun fact, which I just came up with last second. Sean, I think you mentioned Whistler. So yes. Whistler, when I worked at ADP, which was the company I left to go to the solar company, we had something called President's Club, which was where I was board of directors, Sean. And we had a trip to Whistler where Katy Perry performed live for our team, for the whole company 3 times. We paid $1.5 million to have her there. And that was before her Super Bowl performance. And it was a summer trip to Whistler. Whistler is the most beautiful place on the planet in the summer as well. And so Whistler has a special place in my heart. We also created an inside, and Sean, real quick, an inside marketing plan. We did Whistler while you work, hashtag Whistler while you work to get everybody going for that year. So that was my concept. Yeah, a lot there, but thank you guys so much for the time.
No, thank you, Adam. And Ray, I am sure, has many summer and winter stories from Whistler as well. So awesome, Adam. And you are very kind, brother. But there's so many things that I haven't done that Adam has done And so this is an incredible partnership of love, integrity, loving of people. And so if I was going to say one thing that Adam and I have in common, it is a love for people. And it has been clear from the minute I met him through today. And the only thing that we will accept and have anywhere near us is people who love people. And so thank you, brother. You know, a lot of people in the world want, I think in the space of selling, want to buy lists, want to sell things like to people, and take money and run. And I say that in love and not judgment, but that's reality. We want to get results for people and work with people and love people, people that, you know, are super successful and people that are not, and everything in between, you know. So thanks, brother, for all that. And I would say quick fun fact that I could jump on, because we talk about more money, less time, more magic. Elle, and everybody. I had the privilege this weekend of being with my dad. And my dad's 74, and he's not in the greatest of health, and his ankles bother him. So we had to get him, you know, I have houses on the beach down the shore, but we still had to get him like physically onto the beach this weekend. And we got my dad onto the beach with, you know, lifeguard help and that sort of thing. And then we went out to the ocean, because my dad can walk. It just hurts a real lot, and, you know, with his ankles and tendons and issues. So got him into the ocean. And Elle, my dad was in the ocean with me for an hour and a half, about 60 yards out, on the surf break. And the waves weren't huge, but they were solid and consistent. And I'd surf a wave in. And by the way, I said I'm blind, but I'd surf a wave in. And then I'd be like, Dad, and you know, I'd go back out to where he was by voice. And then we'd do it again and do it again. And so my 74-year-old dad, who barely could walk, was out in the ocean for an hour and a half, not in knee-deep water, but in chest-deep water on the wave break sandbar in LBI, Long Beach Island, New Jersey. And it was unbelievable. And other quick fun fact is that blind people, I'm on the board of trustees for the American Foundation for the Blind. I was with President Kirk Adams a couple hours ago. It's the 100th anniversary centennial year, and my life stands for the fact that blind people can do things adventurously, fun, passionately, and that's what I hope my life stands for. And this Saturday coming up, and then Elle will get rolling. I'm going to be down in Spring Lake, New Jersey. There's an incredible surf day for disabled people that we're going to be down, and they've asked us to come down and help people that have every disability imaginable, including blindness, including inability to walk, and just some incredibly inspirational people are going to be learning to and/or surfing with disabilities in Spring Lake this Saturday. You talk about magic, it's what it's about, right? And we're all here to do that. And, you know, money creates possibilities. Not the only way to create possibilities, but it certainly is one. And time, freedom, and scaling creates those moments when we can give out of our abundance. And we have abundance in time and financial resources. We don't have to, and a lot of times people don't. But there's also extraordinary opportunities to give and impact the lives of other people. Because it's definitely, and I know nobody on this line believes it, but there's, you know, we live in a very challenging time in the world. I know Kay and Shai do incredible things. You know, to deal with gender bias and discrimination. And there's a lot of pain out there and a lot of suffering out there. So on these real raws, part of what we're here to do also is to just all collectively step into the space for a moment of thinking about what can we do to create that magic for the world. People we love, people we don't know. And Elle, you clearly represent that in the world. So thank you for doing this, and let's rock and roll, Elle.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Very exciting. I hope we get to see some video of the upcoming event, Sean.
Yeah, no, we will. We'll be Facebook Live and all weekend with incredible people, and in the disability space, there's like hierarchy. You know, it's weird. Like there's disabilities where people have more challenges and less, and you know, in the space of blindness, it's the same thing. So I feel uniquely privileged that I am very sure I'm going to be encountering some people that I'm going to have tears pouring down my face that I can't even believe what they're able to do. So I look forward to it. Yes, Elle, we'll be putting it out there. So thank you.
Great. All right. Well, we will get started. So each of you get to choose who a yes you're looking for in the world. Hopefully something that's meaningful and important to you. and who I will be, whoever you want me to be. You'll have 3 minutes, even if it's just the yes is a follow-up meeting, that's still a yes. And you get to, set it up however you'd like, whatever you're looking for. And we'll start with the lovely Ray.
All right, Ray, who do you want Elle to be?
I would like Elle to be someone who can hear me because I unmuted myself the right way on Zoom. Yay! Elle, can you please be Cheryl Banham? You are working for Crown and Indigenous Relations and Northern Affairs Canada. And you manage files to do with First Nations and Métis and Inuit governments across Canada. And they are accountable to you for spending. And so I want to approach you with a proposal for something I think that your clients need. Okay, so bring.
All right, Ray, I'm gonna hit you with 30 seconds to go. Okay. I'll tell you when you have 30 seconds left. 3 minutes. Go.
Bring, bring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Cheryl Banham?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Cheryl. My name is Ray Ratzlaff. I'm with Raincoast Ventures, calling you from Vancouver, British Columbia. And I was referred to you by one of your project files, the Métis Nation of Ontario.
Oh, okay.
I wondered if you might have a moment to chat about a project that we did for the Métis Nation of Ontario that they found very, very helpful, and which I think might be helpful for some of your other files.
I have about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. I have another meeting, but you've got 2 minutes. Go.
Perfect. I probably need less than that. What done for the Métis Nation of Ontario is we created this record of decisions matrix. It goes back to the beginning of their history of their organization, where they were first a corporate secretariat before they have started moving into self-government. And we've gone back and documented every decision that was made at their annual general assemblies, all of their decisions from their boards and their finance and executive committees, so that they can easily search out and pull reports from what was done in each of those different bodies, or all of the bodies together, and also can check to see what's still outstanding. And they found that this has been very, very helpful in doing the reports that they have to generate for your office, because they can go back and very quickly see anything that's not accountable, and they can anything that hasn't been completed, and they can then print you out a report and have no problem at all to get you the information that you need. So I wondered if you thought that might be of interest to some of your other Indigenous clients, and perhaps we could chat with some of them.
Yes, I think that would be. I mean, it would be great for me, and very, very helpful in finding things and referencing, and an easily searchable platform. So yes. Are you there, Ray? I think she got frozen.
Yeah, I've been having a few connectivity issues myself.
Zoom is not always kind. Okay.
Right,
Hello.
Now, do you want to come back to Ray? Is that Ray back?
Yeah,
I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry, I also want to apologize, Cheryl, because I just realized I launched right in there without really sort of talking to you a little bit today to see how your day is going, and if you even had time to talk to me. I just apologize for just stepping right in there. And how are things going for you during COVID?
Well, hectic, it's hard to get as much done as we're used to, but yeah, I think what you have to offer, I definitely want to get more information on it.
That's awesome. And we set up a time next week to chat. How about next Tuesday?
That'll be great.
I'll email you with a couple of times, and you just let me know what works for you, and I will look forward to talking to you next Tuesday.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
All right. Excellent job, Ray. How'd that feel for you?
Yeah. Well, it felt good, except I was nervous and didn't actually start with some of the, getting to know you. And I just launched right into the business at hand. So, yeah.
All right. Well, excellent. Elle, if you had to, give, maybe one sentence or so on how that connection and process felt with Ray, what would you share?
I mean, I think that the target audience, you know, for what she's offering is perfect. I think that they would be actually very interested. Ironically, the getting to know you part is really what Ray is best at. So it's funny that she forgot that part, but it's understandable under the circumstances.
And Elle, who are our judges for today?
We have Kay and Shai and Blake.
Awesome. All right, Kay and Shai, maybe get about 30 seconds of feedback if you could for Ray. So what do you have?
Yeah, Ray, I think that there is an opportunity for you to blend in kind of the sales pitch with the getting to know you. I kind of wrote down a little bit of a script over here on the side while you were speaking. That might be good to ask her the question of, hey, are you familiar with the other organization that it was that you said that you served? And if she'll most likely say yes to that question, you're getting that instant reciprocation from her, which is helping build that know, like, and trust factor. And then you can say, you know, I was able to help solve this particular problem for them. Like, man, they had this going on and this going on. Is that something you guys are struggling with too? And then you're getting that second level of reciprocation from her and getting that get to know you factor without necessarily explaining what you did and having it kind of be her win in the process. So those two questions were just what popped for you.
The only other thing that I would add, one, love the King and I reference, so that was awesome. But two, telling a story of some kind. So being able to paint a picture so that you can kind of grab on to somebody visually, you know, like, when the clients are frustrated about the reports that they have to send you and they belabor about how hard it is, well, our matrix has been able to solve that problem. And I would love to help you other clients relieve that headache. So talking right to those pain points and painting a little bit of a picture might help you land it a little bit better.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And Blake.
Well, kind of got my thunder stolen, but no, I mean, honestly, I was going to tell on Kay and Shai, you know, great job. Like kind of telling again on Kay and Shai, the way you were able to find those, I would ask to find those pain points, pressure points, and then kind of start, once you figure it out, kind of press on them. You did that in a way where it was very smooth. Wasn't very in your face, so I did like that, but I would maybe focus more on trying to find the pressure points like you did, and but fantastic.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Blake. Elle, who's next?
Next we have Taylor Schmidt. I know he's really looking forward to this. He's thinking, so had me come on here, and I'm really excited about this. So
real quick, Taylor's been with us for less than a month, so this is the first time he's pitched. Okay, and I didn't tell him till 15 minutes before the meeting started what we were having him do. So he be ready.
And still didn't give you much information on it either.
I told him, I said, just be ready. You may have to make a pitch. And he said, what? And I said, that's all you need to know.
Hey, Taylor, Sean Callagher here. And in a moment, you're going to select who Elle would be. And if I could tell you from my heart to yours that, like, right here in this space we're working on is the difference that'll make the difference in people's lives and their money, their time, and their magic right here, right now. And every single time, if you leave with nothing more than this, is every single time somebody's going to give you an opportunity to share your heart or challenge you in some competitive way and influence, it's an incredible moment opportunity, because that's how you're going to get to all the things you want to get to and impact all the people you want to impact. So, Taylor, who would you like Elle to be?
I would like Elle to be Rick Taylor. He is a general contractor in Miami. He is a friend of my family, and he came to me with kind of something that we could help him with as far as his policies coming back, not exactly where he wanted them to be. So he heard I was getting into insurance, and he was hoping that I could look more into his policies and see what we can do from that standpoint. He is not as involved in the daily aspects of everything. So that's going to be a challenge when moving forward with his team.
All right, brother. Sounds awesome. Take us in.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Rick Taylor, this is Taylor Schmidt. How are you, sir?
Who?
Taylor Schmidt, son of Andrea and Paul Schmidt.
Yes, yes. Okay. Oh, hey, Taylor, how are you?
Doing very well. Great to hear your voice, sir. I'm calling in regards to the discussion we had previously. I know you had some issues with your policies and the premiums that went with those.
Yeah.
And I can see how that could be very frustrating, especially in this time with COVID. Everyone's policies and premiums seem to be on the rise. I would say that we also have a little bit of an edge to our competition in that we are able to use our connections to get you better and more comprehensive coverage. Maybe not lower them, but get you more value out of your policies. So that's the main reason I was calling today, was to see if you would still be interested in moving forward with finding out some more information as how much we can help you in this difficult time.
Yes. You sure you can't give me lower rates, Taylor?
We are going to do our hardest to do that, but what we can promise you is that we'll get you the most comprehensive and full coverage that we can get you, because that's our main goal, is to keep you protected and also try to get you them for the best prices we can.
All right. Well, I'll see what you've got to offer.
Perfect. Can I set up a meeting next week with your team or with you individually?
Yes.
Perfect. How about Tuesday next week?
That'll be good. That's the day my team meets, so that'll be perfect. We'll do it right after our team meeting.
Perfect. Absolutely. I will email you with that information, and we will look forward to hearing from you.
Great.
All right, Taylor, how'd that feel for you?
A little nerve-wracking, but all in all, pretty good.
All right, awesome. Those nerves will go away, and as you
Yes.
begin to reframe the meaning of all of it. So congratulations for being here and for being as courageous as you were. Elle, any quick words of wisdom from the formerly First Lady of Landscaping to now entrepreneurial genius of the world?
Yes. I think that when you moved into the agreement formation, like when you're asking, you had more certainty in your voice. So you want to just start out with more certainty and, ask more questions like, what happened? Why'd your rates go up? Like really get him talking about his problems. And then, since you don't have any of your own stories yet, Blake has, like a million stories that he can share with you, including my own personal stories that I have put Blake through. I literally have, 6 or 7 different businesses and policies, and like Blake just handles it all. So that is really appealing to an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I see the experience.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's see what the judges have to go with. Blake, what do you got for Taylor?
Taylor, I think you did a good job, especially only having 10 minutes notice. So selling to Miss Anderson is not the easiest task, so I'm proud. So but from looking out going in, this is the first time I've actually seen you, and get after it. I think that your tone changed a little bit when you went from talking just kind of carrying on with everybody, and then you went into a speech. I just don't want you to get into a set speech, where you're going to read the same thing over and over. I'm not saying you did, but just have a little more enthusiasm, a little more oomph, a little more, maybe try to get to know the person on a personal level a little more right at first, and then kind of go into it. The last thing you want to do is sound like every other insurance agent out there, in my opinion. People want to think of you as, I always say, a risk management partner, not an agent. An agent is somebody you don't hear from until renewal 2 weeks before every year. I want someone to be comfortable with you. Just Elle and I built a relationship on a personal level as well, where, we actually stay up and say, hey, how you doing? So on and so forth. And while we're talking about business. So, just that's, maybe just, it's not a bad thing to open yourself up more. But I think you did great. Good job.
Thank you.
Awesome. And how about Kay and Shy? What'd you have for Taylor, please?
Way to get thrown in there and rock it. Super proud of you. Really liked that you were easygoing. Also really liked that you were upfront about probably not going to get you cheaper rates and that you stuck with that. I think that people respect that level of honesty and they're tired of the sales guy. So liked that you didn't come at it from that angle, especially when you're coming at somebody who knows your parents and trust us, we're from a family business. Leverage that relationship. Like you should be able to say like, look, I can't get you lower rates, but you know my mom and dad, you know how hard our family works. Like I'm going to get you the best dang insurance and take care of you. And then the other thing that I would say for anyone who's in insurance, and I'm sorry to say this, business owners hate insurance. We hate dealing with it. We hate getting pitched it. It's from every different angle. Every day there's 4 emails in our inbox about who should be the next broker for you in just 15 minutes of your time. So being able to say to someone like, look, I know you hate insurance, but you know my parents, you know we'll take care of you. And I promise to bother you the least amount about insurance and do the most for you on your behalf is probably a great strategy.
And before we wrap up, a little strategy to put in your back pocket, and we train this in the restaurant as well, because we have to tell people no a lot. Like, no, sir, you can't get up without your mask on. No, we have to tell people no a lot. So we like to teach people the let me tell you what I can do approach. So what we would say is, while I can't get you better rates on your insurance than what we already discussed, here's what I can promise you, and then give them like that 3 or 4 things that you're going to do different from your competition. So that let me tell you what I can do approach. Well, I can't do this. What I can do is this.
Right.
Taylor, you need to send an email out to Kay and Shy this afternoon. Just
No, you do it.
Don't, we're not switching. The answer is no.
Excellent. So I'm going to give some feedback myself after round 3. So excellent, Kay and Shy. Elle, who's next?
Next we have Sandra.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, Elle, you will be Elle, and you're going to be a client that I've worked with for quite a bit of time with scheduling meetings and doing some of our the event planning that we help with and things like that. So you and I know each other fairly well, and we're comfortable with each other.
Okay.
All right, so I'll phone.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, Elle. It's Sandra Moore, Raincoast Ventures. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Sandra?
Very good. I know it's been a little bit of time since we chatted.
It has, yes.
Yeah. So, the reason I know I don't want to keep you too long, but I really wanted to kind of just chat to check in since it's been so long. And, with all this COVID craziness, I wanted to make sure we've been emailing a lot, but we actually haven't been phoning each other and, having those conversations. I want to chat with you and then, give you some exciting news, and we'll talk about some exciting news that's happening for Raincoast Ventures that I want to share with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, things have slowed down because of COVID and they're just harder to get done, but I'm love to hear your exciting news.
Oh, good. News is always exciting. Yay, something brand new. I know with work and that, are you working from home or are you working in the office, or how's that working for you?
I'm working from home for the most part.
Okay. Do you guys still do your meetings, like having to go into the office to do team meetings, or are you doing all that remotely too? And
we're doing that remotely.
Oh, how is that?
Well, you know how it goes. I mean, after your 20th Zoom meeting of the day, it gets a little tiring, but at least we're getting work done.
Good. Yeah, I know how it feels. It's going from having, face-to-face meetings all the time and then going to working remotely. It's a bit of a shift, and it's a mental strain at times, right? So yeah, I hear you. Have you been able to get some time away and go vacation, at least even if it's within, your local area? Have you been taking some time away?
We went just since COVID started, we've only gone away one weekend. So, obviously considerably less travel than we used to do.
Yeah.
But at least, you know, hopefully things will start getting back to normal.
That's the hope, right? Yeah, for sure. I've been able to do a couple of little getaways. You know, I've been trying to do that whole university of your own hometown, and see a little bit of my area here. There's been a couple times I've been able to get away to a couple of other local towns and stay over there. And so it's been kind of nice to be able to get away and rediscover my province again. So yeah. So that's
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't want to keep you too long, so I'll let you know. And it kind of ties in with what I was just chatting with you about with the travel, and that is that you know that with Raincoast Ventures, we always pride ourselves on finding solutions for our clients with whatever they need in their business. And so we've actually expanded, and we have a new service line. So now we're not only offering services for business in your business in situation, but we're actually offering vacation solutions now too. So we've expanded our service line. We have vacation properties all across the provinces in Canada and throughout the States, where we are offering it to some of our clients if they want to have it with their teams, maybe rent out a property with their teams, or if they want to rent out a couple of suites and have small local business meetings and things like that. So it's been really exciting because, you know, it's very scary with COVID. It's scary to travel. It's so hard with the restrictions that are going on, but people still need to meet. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to get away if you can't, if you want to be able to meet in small groups, or if you also just want to take a little bit of a vacation, you know, around the block to something new and feel like you're just getting away from it all. So we've opened up that. So what is that? How does that?
So how big are the properties, and how does that work exactly?
Well, the properties, they're all different types of properties. So there's big hotels with, you know, hundreds of rooms. Of course, there's some restrictions associated with that. And then there's small little boutique rooms and hotels. So, you know, it's going to be dependent on what you're looking for. We will be able to find a solution for you. So you know that that's what we do, right? So all you need to do is ask, and we will always find a solution that works for you and finds with your budget and that. So it's really depending on what you or your team, or personally, if your family is interested in it, we'll find something that works for you and works within your budget and all that.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. You know, I'll get with my team because we really have an important meeting coming up that I'd like to get together, but there's only about 15 of us. So let me get with my team and see if we're open to that, and then I can see what kind of options you have.
That's great. So what I can do is, I'm not sure when you're having your team meeting, but what I can do is maybe we can chat next week, and I can give you a bit more details, and I can give you some brochures and a little bit more details on the different properties and what different options, because, you know, it's not just for business. If they want to take it and do it personally, we're, you know, really wanting to help support our clients in every way that they need. So I can send you some of that information, and we can have a meeting next week and walk through it a little more before you talk with your team. Would that work?
Yeah, that's fine. That sounds good.
Great. So how's your day on Tuesday?
Tuesday afternoon is good.
Perfect. Okay. So I'll send you an email with some different options. My afternoon on Tuesday is totally free. And we can Zoom or not. It'll depend if you're Zoomed out. We could just have a phone call and and you could decide what works best for you. But I'll send you a couple of some times, and we'll pick a time, and we'll find a way to make it so you and your team can have a great getaway.
Okay. All right. Thanks,
Great.
Sandra.
Thanks. It was nice talking with you. I'll talk with you soon.
Okay.
Great job. Excellent, Sandra. How did that feel for you?
It was good, actually. It was good. I felt comfortable because I was going into it that Elle and I knew each other very well, and so I didn't feel that much the pressure because I had that relationship with her. Yeah, it felt pretty good.
Yeah. And if you didn't have a relationship with her, what would the pressure be that you would be feeling?
And that's different, actually. Having said that, I think I would be more nervous with feeling like I had to sell myself and sell my company. because right now Elle knows my company. We've been working together for so long. So, I just had to remind her about, we've got solutions for you. But we've worked so long that she already knew that. So I think for me, the pressure would be is learning how to sell myself and sell the company when they don't know me very well. And I'm just, someone that they may have heard of or things like that. I think that would be the pressure for me.
Okay, cool. Well, I would invite you, this is a longer conversation, to step into the reframing that story. Like everything we feel in every single way, truly is just the story, right? And there is no pressure. The only pressure we can have is self-created. All these different dynamics are completely disruptible and alterable. And you did a great job. Your energy is fantastic. Your communication skill sets are super. And I'll drop in after the judges, though. So excellent. Kay and Shai, what did you have for Sandra?
Sandra, your relationship building was awesome. You did a really good job of getting Elle to speak, which is really, I thought you did a really wonderful job there. I think there was an opportunity for, in the kind of painting of the picture, like Sean just talked about on your vacation, for you to be like, oh my gosh, I just got back from the best trip. It was amazing. We went here. It looked and felt like this. It was so great. In fact, that was actually one of the properties of this brand new line that we just launched. Have I told you about that line that we just launched at Vacation Properties and Things? And then you're getting the person on the other line to be like, oh no, is that the announcement that you wanted to tell me? Oh my gosh, actually it is. And that opens the door in a really natural way for you to go from story and into talking about the properties without you having to like make the switch there and say, now this is the thing I wanted to tell you about.
I would add on to that. I think that I would agree. You did a really good job in the beginning with your relationship building. You were clearly comfortable in that zone. Liked the check-in approach. Hey, I'm just calling it check-in and share some new news and exciting stuff. Also like that you brought it into the house work from home going, because that's something everyone can relate to right now or relating to in the past. So I thought that was really smart. And then agree with maybe being able to tell the story and move that into your pitch a little bit. And then I would add trying to find something that allows the person to understand in a couple of words what it is. Are you now a travel concierge? Did you guys purchase the properties and you're leasing them out? Like I was kind of confused on what the mechanics. So, someone says, okay, well, we're the Uber of this now, or like we're the concierge of this. Like find a little something that helps me go, okay, I get it. You're going to make a commission if I book on it, or, oh, you guys are offering this as a free service to your clients, or whatever it is. So maybe finding a way to concisely just say, it's basically this, so that someone can go, okay, I feel safe and understanding and asking more questions.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff. And Blake, what did you have?
Sandra, I thought it was a great job. Something I want to tell it on what you and Taylor did too that was great is you put a hook at the end. You said, you kept the conversation going, so maybe we can get together next week, and you put a time on it, so that way that you're not just kind of floating out there and there's no specific time frames. At least you can hold them accountable. But your personality, very approachable. Sound trustworthy. You sound very confident. I think it was great. I definitely think you did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. So let me jump in for just a minute here, and let's recap these first 3 rounds. So everybody, outstanding job. Thank you again for your courage, your vulnerability, and stepping into where Taylor was. Taylor, there's a question that Elle asked that was, hey, so can you get me cheaper rates? And what are you processing when Elle asks that question? So what is Elle saying when she says, hey, can you get me cheaper rates? What are you interpreting her as saying? 1 or 2 sentences.
It seems to me that is something that's important to her. And that's something that's more or less something I have to improve upon or meet that requirement in order to actually gain their interest in their business. So my idea with that was,
can I help you? Wait, Taylor,
yes.
Can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you ever? Why? Ready? Is Elle correct? Is Elle correct that should be her top buying criteria?
No.
Is she correct? I'm sorry?
Not entirely. Not entirely, no.
So here's not even close, right? Because she might be getting the cheapest rates for horrible insurance that's going to have a ton of exclusions and a ton of things that aren't in her best interest and what she actually wants. Is that true or false?
That's absolutely true.
Right. And so you're in the business of protecting people, which you said beautifully. Here's the distinction for everybody. I'll just do a quick one here. Is there's a concept called stepping into someone's frame. People, everything in the world is just a story. It's just a story. It's stories we tell ourselves and stories people tell themselves and stories we tell each other. So, right, like depending upon the perspective you're sitting in, right, everybody has their own reality. And in the general world, that's like cool, right? Somebody wants to live on a commune and like smoke pot all day. I may not think that's the best idea for their happiness and fulfillment, but that's their choice. It's all good. But when you come to the space of the sacred relationship of integrous influence, which Elle is stepping into with you, right, in this situation, that client whose name you said, your job is to not step into their frame while loving them, being empathetic to them, being respectful to them, right? All those things. But if Elle is in the wrong frame, right, we have to bring her into the accurate, objective frame. Because people set up the wrong buying criteria all the time. All the time. People might go into a room and buy a program because they like the people selling it. It doesn't make it the right program. And liking is a buying criteria, but it may not be the right buying criteria, right? So, for example, and so what do you do, right? And we're going to do this just for 90 seconds more, and then we'll keep moving. It's a quick drop in. So what do you do when somebody has the wrong frame? Okay? You ask them about it, lovingly, curiously. So Elle, for example, hey Elle, I'm hearing you say that price that you're going to pay for this policy is really important to you. Am I hearing that correctly, Elle?
Yes.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. Right? Can you tell me though why you're putting price as such a high criteria? Like, what is it that you're actually trying to accomplish with getting this policy? Like, what are you, Elle, for your business trying to accomplish?
Well, you know, I'm a general contractor.
Stop right there. But pause right there. Well, certainty has been disrupted. Elle, is that a true statement? Like, was your certainty the beginning of being disrupted? Because you're like, oh, well, yeah, and now it's going to be a little bit more complicated than just price. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah, so go ahead. Keep going, please. Well, good.
You know, I'm a general contractor, and, you know, we had a bad accident last year, and now my rates are sky high. And, you know, like that's a major impact on the whole business. So that's why, yeah, rates are really.
So, Elle, can you actually hear me right now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm hearing you say is that you had some really serious problems in the past. Your rates are high, and you want to make sure that you get the best price you can, but you're going to want to make sure you get the right coverage so you're not exposed and having your company destroyed. Is that a fair statement now?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So would it be okay if I shared a little bit about how insurance works? Because there's a lot of cheap insurance that can get you like on the job and a check mark on, do you have insurance? But I think I'm hearing you want a little bit more than that, like to have just enough insurance to actually get you on site to show somebody you're insured. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then, so Taylor, that now opens up the conversation to start getting into like, hey, listen, I can give you this rate, but the problem is it's only going to cover you in this way. And it's going to have like exclusions for like these 11 things. And it's with a Z-rated company that could go bankrupt and out of business. I'm exaggerating, of course, but there's a whole bunch of things that somebody needs to be educated on. And you're the expert lovingly for them. Does that make sense, Taylor?
Absolutely makes sense.
Sean, can I jump in here?
Yes, sir.
So one of the things that we found some success with, and Taylor's, we've done a couple of these together, is instead of going in with the normal pitch, is we a lot of times will go in with the approach of doing a coverage review, where we ask the client, do you actually understand what kind of coverage you have? Do you know if one of your employees goes to the post office to pick up stamps or drop off mail, if they get in a car accident on the way, are they covered? And a lot of times the client doesn't know if they are or not, and they really don't know what coverages they have. So we do offer a coverage review where we will take their policies, break them down, and we will itemize things out that we think, in our opinion, that could be improved, and then we explain why they should be improved. Now, it's not we don't charge for it, and the hope is we can prove our worth and get into the the opportunity to work on the insurance by doing that. But at least it keeps the client in the driver's seat and educates them, at least so they know, even if we don't get the chance to do the business, we believe in karma. So, I mean, it'll come back around, but at least the client now has a better understanding of what their policy covers and or doesn't cover. So that's
Like that's a triple plus, and that's what it's all about, right? Because that's your complimentary sales meeting, is that policy review. I could not agree more, and I can only imagine that 99% of times, or at least 95%, you find substantial ways that you can help and make something better, correct?
all the time. All the time.
All the time. All the time. Right. Awesome. So thank you for that. Yeah, great job. All right, Elle, back to you.
Yes, I would have one. I would call it like a liability, coverage review, like something a little more, put more at stake, because business owners, they definitely want to limit their liability. So something, most of the times, on the 4 emails we get a day on insurance, which almost none of them make it through to me. My team doesn't allow that, but most of them, I'd say 90% are on price. Oh, we're cheaper, and 10% are on coverage review. So I would definitely, change it up a little bit. Liability review. Let's make sure, where are your liabilities that you don't know, your hidden liabilities.
Liability can sink a business, a building will not. That's how we say it. You could have a $12 million liability claim and over a $500,000 building. So liability claims are 99% always higher than property claims. That's where you want to make your focus.
Awesome, guys. Love it. Great job. This is what it's about, right? Like, we're here to do these things, these micro distinctions, and share and learn together. Kay, Blake, great feedback. Elle, like everybody, this is awesome. So Elle, back to you.
Okay. Next we have Vince Donato.
All right, Vince, who would you like Elle to be?
All righty. So I just, I got through working the unmute button, so I'm halfway there, I guess. So Taylor, don't feel bad about your 15-minute warning. Elle really did not prep me at all for what this was about. So I guess in my role, I'm a prospecting banker. The relationship banking world, there's banks on every corner. So I guess what we'd have Elle be would be just Elle Anderson. Maybe you own a title company. Let's pick that. Maybe you're a neighbor of one of my existing clients. And I'm, of course, just building this as a hypothetical scenario. But let's say that neighbor complimented me on our relationship, and I asked about you being their neighbor right next door. So I'm calling you and ringing into you. Ring.
All right, Vince, take us in.
Hello.
Hi, Elle. This is Vince Donato with SunTrust, now Truist. I was hoping you had a minute to talk. Is this a good time?
I have about 3 minutes, Vince.
3? Okay, great. Well, the reason I'm calling is because we talked to Jim today. he and I have a relationship. Of course, he's your neighbor. I'm pretty sure you guys know what he does next door with that tech group.
Yeah.
And we were finishing up a few things, and he mentioned, kind of gave me a compliment. And I said, the biggest thing I'd like to do is just kind of meet you next door. I passed by your office, and I've read a few articles online about what you do and who you are. And, I don't want to cover too much of that right now, but I think you got a lot to be proud of. And I was just interested in if you had the opportunity when I come by the office with Jim next week, if I can stop by and we can get to know each other a little bit more.
Okay.
All right, great. I'm like I said, I'm going to be over there on Wednesday, and he and we talked about a lot of things, just kind of, as he's a growing company as well. And one of the deep things that we like to get into is just your industry itself, with a title company, especially with COVID taking place, and just the way the market has changed. We know that you've had to pivot and change as well. And so I just want to make sure if I stop by tomorrow, it's not just to say hi, it's maybe I can put a small agenda together of some topics that you think we can cover. Are there any priorities or immediate needs that you think of right now that if you had to reach out to your banker, you'd like to cover?
We've had to, pivot. We have, drive-through closings where they stay in their car and we come out with their car. So, we've definitely had to change. It would be nice to have a line of credit, which I don't currently have. So that would be something I would like. And, I think that, I think my banker has changed. I don't even know who the new guy is, to be honest with you.
Sure. Okay. Well, those sound like 3 solid topics that I'll add. Again, the priority is to get to know you, understand how your company's running, your staff, maybe some of your key people, and then for us to talk a little bit more about a relationship and a partnership. My biggest goal is to just identify with you the passion I have to help businesses like yourself, and the knowledge that we could look at. So I'm going to put a few of those topics on an agenda. I'm going to add a couple more things that might be important for us that I think about our general market. And with 3 o'clock on Wednesday, it'd be a good time for us to get together and kind of go over that and get to know one another.
Yes. Are you going to show me the money, Vince?
I'm going to show you the money. Absolutely. So I'll do that. I've got your email, so I'm going to email you that Outlook reminder with that quick agenda. Just keep in mind, we want to make sure we do business on your terms. So if that time doesn't work and it's later or earlier appointment that you need to make an adjustment on, shoot me an update and I'll be there for you. And I look forward to meeting with you and learning more about your title company and your team.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
All right, excellent work, Vince. Vince, how'd that feel for you?
That's pretty normal, and I know we were given some really good feedback to Taylor and some of the others, but I think the key is just not be intimidated. A lot of times I'm prospecting and cold calling. I don't even know what these folks look like, especially with now that COVID's hit. I can't do a lot of that in person. So you just got to really realize that on the other end of the line, somebody is just as human as you are. And, so in terms of how it felt, that's pretty typical. My objective there really was just to get an in-person call with Elle to learn more about what she's doing and how she's doing it. Nothing more, not product driven, not anything else. I want to make sure what's important to her, and I want to make sure that she knows that we care about her. She's the business owner.
Awesome. All right, let's drop in. Blake, what did you have?
Thought it was great. Very, very good job. I think that you did a great job of kind of finding what Elle wanted or what she needed or maybe wasn't getting from her current banker. And when she hit that line of credit that she would like to have, I would have dove right in at, going into what we could offer with regards to line of credit, because obviously that's what she's looking for, and made that in my opinion, a primary focus. Maybe if you could help her, my thoughts, if you could help her get a line of credit, maybe that would help show you, not your worth, but show to her that you can get stuff done. If that's what she wants, maybe you obviously get a shot at working on, the rest of her account. So, but I think it's a great job at that meeting. But in your mind, you may have been planning on doing that in the meeting Wednesday at 3:00. So, but I think it was great.
Yeah. And and I can understand in your industry as well, a lot of times was that earlier topic that was discussed is how much coverage can I get and how much is it? So from a banker's perspective, it is how much can I borrow? Typically what happens is people want to borrow because their cash in their account isn't at the level that they feel comfortable with or that they can operate their cash cycle with. So I'll tell you, Blake, that's great feedback, but 90% of the people that think they need a line of credit actually need better cash management skills. And so that's really where, if I started to go down that product driven area of a line of credit, then I'm really not doing what effectively I am, which is looking at her cash cycle and finding out how she can collect quicker and pay later and therefore have more cash. So that's typically, and don't get me wrong, sometimes people just need a line of credit. They need a lending facility, but I don't want to jump to that conclusion here without really even knowing and introducing myself and understanding the business first.
Sure. You could have also maybe flipped it a little bit right there and brought that up though, which that's awesome. I mean, right there was something that's perfect.
You could be teaching business mastery right now because Keith Cunningham has been sharing nothing but Vince is collect earlier, pay later, profits a theory, and cash is all that matters.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Great job, Vince.
Yeah, we've sat with them as well. That's a good group, and in fact, we even scratch out on paper, how many, if you increase your receivables by 3 days, this is how much each day, this is how much each week. You're able to calculate that figure, right from their balance sheet. So
yeah,
it's effective. Yeah. It's effective work to kind of understand if you do need a line or if you don't need a line.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Great job. Kay and Shai, what'd you have for Vince?
Okay. This is the kind of person that I love getting sales pitches from. It didn't even feel like a sales pitch. You clearly have the best interest at heart. You started with the social credibility of I was talking with your neighbor and you know him. You gave a compliment. You should be proud of all your successes. You did research. You said, I kind of looked up and read some articles, like all of those things. And then you were personable. You were comfortable. Like this was really excellent. And we have to agree, when we went to Business Mastery, Keith and Cunningham kind of changed our lives when it came to understanding financials. And so the fact that you would come into a client and say, look, I could get you a line of a credit, but most of the time what's going on is this. It's a really testament to your character, and bravo, I loved it.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of great question asking. I don't know if this is one that you could add into your repertoire, but if you have any clients that that have banked with Wells Fargo, they did not handle PPP very well at all. In fact, we are looking to switch to a local bank because Wells Fargo did us so dirty during PPP. Yeah. And so that might be a question to ask, like, how'd your current bank handle your PPP? And really, I mean, if they didn't do it well, the business owner is going to have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, our the conversations I've been having, that's great. That's a great piece of feedback there. I really appreciate that. Is our overall conversations have been, how has COVID affected you? Let's talk about what's changed. Have you had to close? Did you have to get, some government funds? What questions do you have now? Even if you got government funds from someone else, what can I help you guide on how you make sure the forgiveness portion is completed properly? All those topics are good conversations to kind of show that they're in it for, they're in business for a reason, and I'm doing what I do for a reason. So, we put our heads together, we're going to be unstoppable.
Awesome. Kay and Shai, when did you go to Business Mastery?
To January 2017.
Very, very cool. Awesome. All right, Elle, any comments, thoughts on what we just had for Vince?
Sorry, I was muted.
Elle?
I thought that what Vince did extremely well was having a very conversational non conversation. And I thought that was really, really excellent. You know, I think that, of course, everyone wants a line of credit. That doesn't mean they're going to qualify for a line of credit. So, you know, it's a very, you know, all the small business owners want money, but the bank doesn't always give it to them. So I think that, you know, that conversation was great. I think that, you know, if you could just, I loved how you said that, you know, you researched her and knew some information. If you could like give a couple little specifics, that would make it from like, you know, a 9.5 to a 9.9. Like that really, that validation is really important. And, but I thought it was really good. I love the, just the conversational aspect of it and like zero pressure. And I thought that was fantastic.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Elle. And Elle, who's next?
Next we have Shane.
All right, well,
All right,
Taylor,
Shane.
if Taylor, you think Blake did you dirty, so I got zero warning about this as well, and I just got my license a week ago, so luckily I have a little bit of prior experience. I'm going to give it my best shot, but I guess, Elle, you can be yourself, and you've recently tried to sell your home and it expired, and you're kind of sick of agents, so give me everything you got.
Okay.
All right.
Take it in.
Hello?
Yes, Miss Anderson.
Yes.
Hey there, this is Shane with Century 21 Alton Clark. How you doing this morning?
Fine.
Miss Clark, Miss Anderson, I just saw that, you know, I was wondering about your property that you had for sale. I saw it was no longer. Are you still interested in selling that?
Yes, no one seems to be able to sell it. I don't know why. Everything around me is selling.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. So you've had a pretty bad experience with the sales process, huh?
Yes.
That's got to be frustrating. Did you get any activity while it was listed? Did you have any showings, any offers of any kind?
We had a few showings, not very many, and no offers.
Okay. Based on your personal feedback and feedback from your agent, do you have any idea why you didn't have much activity on your property?
I don't know. You know, I think that the agent just wasn't doing their job.
Okay. Well, what do you think the agent could have done better? What was something that you don't believe they did their job on?
They didn't get any showings.
Okay. Did they follow up with you? I mean, did you stay in contact with them throughout the whole process?
Yes.
Okay. And then what do you think that they did do well during the whole process?
You know, I guess communicating the showings and, you know, giving me notice.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, you know, results, and they didn't.
You just didn't get the result that you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that's frustrating. What were you looking to move to, just out of curiosity?
Oh, we're moving out of state.
Okay. And do you absolutely have to sell the property, or are you interested in renting it and keeping it as an investment?
I really wasn't, but you know, I may have to do that.
Okay. Well, when were you looking to move out of state? What was your timeline?
We're leaving in by the end of the year.
Oh, wow. So you need to get this property, something happening with this property right away then.
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen, one thing we pride ourselves on is offering a completely different approach to real estate and how we do our marketing. If you have just, maybe 30 minutes of your time, I would love to sit down with you just to show what we have to offer, what we could possibly do a little bit different than your last agent, and see if we would be a good fit.
Okay. What do you do differently?
Well, that's something we can always discuss, but one thing, typically what we find when when a property doesn't have much movement is pricing. So I'd like to delve deeper into what has been going on in your neighborhood, and we can discuss that. And as far as our marketing, we do a full 3D tour, which of course, if you can imagine during COVID is a huge plus. Buyer can go online and view your home through a whole 3D virtual tour. We do everything from video tours, which we typically get 300% more views on just by doing a video walkthrough of your property. But that's something I'd like to discuss a little bit more in person with you.
Okay, well, there was no 3D tour with the other agent. So no, I'm not that hopeful, but I will meet with you.
Okay, well, are you a morning or afternoon person?
Afternoon, after work.
How about, I'm looking at my calendar, how about Wednesday, would 3 o'clock be good, or do you want to do a little bit later?
It has to be after 5. How about
After
6?
5? 6 o'clock will work. Do you mind if I get your email real quick? And I'm going to send you just a little brief introduction to myself and our brokerage right before our meeting.
Okay.
All right, beautiful.
All right.
So Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we'll see you there.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Shane.
Thanks, Ms. Anderson.
Excellent work, Shane. Shane, how'd that feel for you?
A little nerve-wracking. I'm still trying to brush back up on my scripts and everything, so it's kind of off the cuff. But I'm still far from mastery. But I feel like the conversation went well.
Excellent stuff. All right, I'll drop in a sec. Kay and Chai, what'd you have for Shane?
Well, Shane, great job in going into a new industry and just jumping right into it. I would challenge, I know that scripting is such an important thing when you're trying to learn something brand new, but oftentimes a little bit of connection-based influence is just what you need. And so knowing that this person had a negative experience going into it, I would have been like investigation status question asking Elle, like, Elle, I heard you had this really terrible experience. Do you mind if I just talk to you about what went wrong? Like, I just want to know. I'm new in the industry and I'm just curious, like, what happened? And then, oh man, the marketing on this place and we weren't able to get it through and it was crazy. Oh my, did they not even have a video tour for you? They didn't have a video tour in 3D. Oh my gosh. Well, Elle, I would love the opportunity to try and make that right for you. Do you have 6 p.m. on, so just getting a little bit more out of her, I think would have helped to build that connection down there at the bottom, but you really have your basics in play. I think that was clear with this group.
Yeah, I think that you did do a really good job on asking questions, maybe putting on a little bit more of your inspector hat and doing investigation status. Hey, I'm new at this, and then validating, like, this is a seller's market, and you're right. Everyone around you is selling their houses. I can't understand how they didn't get this right, and I really want to understand. And coming from that fact-finding mission would be good. So I think maybe just mentioning, like, it's a seller's market. You're right. Everything around you is selling. We can make this right. You've got other things you need to worry about, like where you're going to move to and all of those things. But I mean, for being brand new, you did a really good job. Love that you had questions flowing and that you talked about some of the things that you were proud of in your organization. So this needs practice, but you did good.
Great feedback. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent, Shane. Blake, what'd you have for Shane?
Well, actually, I hate to say it, I got disconnected right when it started, and everybody froze up on me. So,
all right.
Someone else.
Let's drop in, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Gugino, you still there, brother?
I don't see him, Sean.
He's still on.
Okay, so I'll drop in then for a sec. I would say, Shane, I would echo the depth of connection. There's 4 steps in integrity-based human influence, and when it's authentically there, like rooted in the depth of connection with people, it's remembering, it's a sequencing. It's not a scripting, right? In your heart. It's first we connect and open listening and give people the gift of listening. Like, I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me. Oprah, direct quote, putting something effective at stake, and just letting people go in the conversation where they want to go, but also taking them aspirationally somewhere, aspirational energy. Like, see, like, why, what's kind of going on? Like, what's the why? Like, but not just like why, it's like, wow, like why? Like a transcendent aspirational why in that first segment of building emotional rapport, and not just like connection, like true depth of connection, putting something at stake. And that's like third component is, hey, who are you? Like, what is your heroic, unique identity? What are the characteristics that make you congruently unique so people become curious? And one of the ways people become curious is authentically, heart-centeredly, not surface, like gimmicky, not like, hey, what's my like energetic gimmick so that I like make you think I'm caring, but I can feel like there's an authenticity gap because there's no actual caring, right? And then moving into agreement. So I think you did a fantastic job overall, but I think just rising your certainty about depth of connection with people would be a key access. So great job, Shane.
Yeah, thank you. I had a couple other points I'd wanted to hit on, but again, a little bit nervous, of course, and still trying to get back into the whole swing of things.
Yeah, and Shane, what I would say this is, this is like the 115th or 120th real raw event that we've done since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've seen, God, the number's over 500 people do this. And so thank you for being a part of that. And in that process, there's so many patterns that have emerged. And the greatest pattern I can see is when you have a short window, make it at least 2/3 of the conversation is just connecting. So if you have a half an hour, it's 20 minutes. If you have an hour, it's 40 minutes. If you have 3 minutes, it's 2 minutes. And if you have to sacrifice down to just 15 seconds of 2 sentences of like, hey, and the bottom line is I do this because there's tremendous amounts that people don't understand about buying a house or about a line of credit or about their commercial insurance or about franchising in restaurants or about buying and sell, whatever, right? And I just love helping people. And they're going to either believe it or not. Like Blink by Malcolm Gladwell says, people are going to make microsecond decisions. And you don't need a whole lot of time talking about a whole bunch of factual head-to-head details. It's heart to heart. And in a limited window like this, the simple question is, does that person feel seen, heard, and understood by you? And when you share briefly who you are, do they believe you? Like, is it true? Do they believe you? And then it's the agreement. So you can leave very little time, to share what you share, because people are like, wow, I like that person. I want to learn more. I'm curious. Does that make sense, Shane?
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome job. All right, Elle?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, because we have a couple of people that are new in their industries, and just 2 points. One is enthusiasm is, can cover up a lot of other mistakes. So just be a little bit more enthusiastic. And instead of thinking as being new as a, like an obstacle to overcome, you can see like, hey, I know I'm new at this and, maybe I'm young, but no one else will care as much about your insurance or about selling your house as much as I do. Like that you can own and care more and do whatever it takes to get it done.
Yeah. Elle, couldn't agree more. And gentlemen that are newer, when I first came out of law school, I quit my job at 27, started my own law firm, my credit card. And I was getting looked at like I had 9 heads by every single person that was talking about getting hired. But I knew one thing. I knew that law was about influence. I knew most lawyers were liars, or they weren't liars. That's a judgment. They were engaged in lying. And if I could disrupt them, right, and use that against them and stay in truth, I would win. So my absolute certain that how I got there, it's a longer conversation, how I learned all that. But in the limited time frame, like of 6 months into this, I sat face to face with somebody who was involved in an enormous litigation, and he was owed $2.5 million from a major insurance company. And he was almost laughing at me when I first walked into his house to talk about it. I got referred to him, how I got there, his own story, right? But by the end of it, my approach to doing this exact formula had him say yes. And he was right to say yes because he was involved in this litigation for 2 years, and I got him his money in 6 months. And I got him $3 million, not $2.5 million, because all his attorney fees are paid also, and they introduced me to the world. So I heard a lot of, and I'm just echoing what Elle said, emphasizing it. A lot of, well, I'm new, and I don't have the script down yet. Dude, burn your script. I'm saying that lovingly, and if you get trained that way, I don't want to offend anybody. But and get in your heart. Because in your script, script equals head to head, not heart to heart. Script equals head to head, not heart to heart. Own yourself, love people relentlessly and fearlessly, and you will blow doors off of everybody else who's worried about scripts, who's afraid to pick up the phone, who's afraid to follow up, who's afraid to tell people the truth, who's stepping into other people's frames, and you will crush everything. but it takes a very, very unique and rare commitment. And most people never make that commitment, and they will stay comfortable and they will keep things to themselves. They won't develop those skills. I know that's not who you're going to be, but there's a choice about that. So I wish you all the best. Elle, back to you.
Okay. Well, we are only 30 minutes behind schedule, so we're doing well. And thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. And if you guys, I know previously people have been asking me to connect them. I'm happy to connect you with anybody here, except for they don't want, Kay and Shai don't want to hear your insurance. Sorry, Blake, because I do think you're the best. You really are.
Thank you.
But I'd be happy to connect you guys and hope to see you on the morning huddles at 8:30 Eastern time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Elle. Great job, everybody, for participating, courage and vulnerability. Great direct feedback, Blake, Kay, and Shai. Thank you. And listen, this is all about co-creating simple, fun, and magical micro distinctions in frictionlessness. That's free, exponential abundance and money, time, and magic. Sounds like hyperbole, sounds like whatever, but the difference between people that have 10x the business and more free time and magic are micro distinctions compounded over time. They're not like one big moment. So beautiful job, everybody. Elle, you have proven that time and time again. Thank you, Elle. Fantastic job. Everybody have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, guys. Nice to meet
All right,
you.
have a good week.